you traded up, you were aggressive, and then you could not have been more honest with the way that you were assessing everything. Let's walk into when did Trey Lance have you? Did he have you at hello? Walk me through the process of when you decided this is the kid for us.
I think obviously everyone wants to know that, and I have a hard time not explaining the answer exactly, and then I realized to explain that will probably take me an hour, so I end up giving way too long of answers. Someday maybe I'll write a book on it, but it's not just a simple, the first time you see him, it's a slam dunk yes, and that's what I was trying to explain, that when I looked at him in January, the first time I finished with the tape, I was just, I'd gone through about 4 games, and I collected a bunch of stuff and sent it over to John that night. And I was just so excited and intrigued by the stuff that you could do with him. And he looked the part in so many ways as a quarterback, and then looking into the running element. So I was kind of just enamored with all that stuff from the get-go. And then when you move out to the spot we do, you got such a long process to do it the right way. So the way I felt at the beginning, back in January, I'm not going to just sit there and allow myself to be set in stone. I always joke, I drive my wife crazy, but the way I buy houses, I think I like something, but then I tell her every single thing that's wrong about it. I tell the real estate agent, everybody, and then she's almost in tears thinking I hate it. And then I'm like, all right, that's the one I want. She's like, how the hell did that happen? And I'm like, I'm just checking myself. And so we loved him from the beginning, but then you got, we were trying to make that trade early February. So, and I think we got it done a little over a month ago, but for about 2.5 months, I'm looking through everything and trying not to jump to conclusions too fast. But interviewing every coach, interviewing every scout, having guys come in. I don't want people in our office to know which way I'm leaning, because you can go so many different directions, and they're all such good candidates. But just to play out the process the way we did, to where I got to know the kid after watching the tape. And that was kind of the coolest thing, to where I really started to like Trey as a person to be the quarterback of your team, just believing in the leader he could be, how much he could soak in, how important it was to him. And I think the best thing for me was if I would have done the process the opposite way. That's what I was trying to tell Peter this weekend. But if I would have done the kid first, I probably would have fell in love with the guy. And then I would have been like, man, do I hope this tape matches that. And it would have. And that's kind of when it's the guy. I did the tape first, which I felt so good about. But, he hadn't played a 2020 season. That's kind of scary. He's at a smaller school. Doesn't have a lot of throws on tape. He's got 300 and something, but that's a lot less than everyone else. So you think of all those reasons that could make you nervous. But the kid made me believe. And you go back to how you felt with what he has put on tape, and then you go with what you believe in the person. And I guess with the accumulation of those two things, by the end, it was a very easy decision.
So to put your analogy a little further, Kyle Shanahan, about you, driving your wife crazy about buying a house, I guess trading up, to 3 overall, giving up all those assets is officially putting your house for sale. And then when did you enter escrow with Trey Lance? What were you really grinding tape after that trade up to 3?
Yeah, it really doesn't stop. And that's where, it goes to all positions. I've had a receiver, a D lineman, whatever it is, that I'm in love with one night. And then I go watch them a week later, and I can't figure out what I liked so much. Or sometimes it's the opposite. You got to keep cross-checking yourself. Sometimes you'll watch a guy who's not that good, and you'll turn on a guy next, and he's so much better. Sometimes your notes and stuff will inflate that guy a little bit. So you just got to keep going back and forth in that. But the thing that made us so confident is, we got vacation through January. Unfortunately, it means you weren't in the playoffs. So I just went down to a little beach house where I got all my film, and I just watched quarterbacks for a month. And to feel the way that I did, especially about Mac and then about Trey and where we were at, and especially with what happened with Stafford and Deshaun, we knew early, hey, we got to be aggressive to make sure we get one. Where is that spot? And we looked into all the others. We looked into the 4th pick. We looked into the 5th pick. The 3rd one was that had the most chance of making a move a month in advance. And I truly believe if we won it I think someone else is going to eventually, and that price is going to only go up. And that was a decision that we all had to make, me, John, Jed. And once we did, we really never looked back. And I think what changed is the feeling of when you go through that stuff. At 12, you see 2 guys on tape like, man, if either of these guys were there, I for sure would take them. And you know what? There's probably other guys too I would take at 3. So I think there might be 5. I mean, not at 3. That might be 5 I would take at 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get up to a spot that is high. But now I know we're for sure going to get one. And before we did that, I knew for sure that we wanted one. And so then when we got there, you're allowed to go through the whole process of falling in love with the kids, really getting to know them, and not having to tip your hand off to anyone. Because something I don't like to do is I don't like to call a lot of players and stuff, because usually when I do, they'll tell their agent or they'll tell someone, or and then it gets back to people, and people traded right in front of you when you're one pick away and you lose people. It's happened to me a number of times, and I've seen that happen just in my life a bunch, and that's always your biggest fear. So I'm not going to tell anybody anything. And once we got to 3, though, it didn't matter. I could call these guys. They could tell whoever they wanted I talked to them. and that's what allowed me to feel so good about it. You know, when you're going off the tape, it's just, you know, it's only half of it. It allows you to believe in what they can do and stuff. But until you really get to know that guy and the whole makeup of a person, you know, quarterback is a different position, and it is so hard. And it's not just about the ability. You have to have an unbelievable amount of ability that isn't just in height, weight, and speed, and it isn't also just in IQ. It's in playing a game really fast in a pocket, having to decipher through things, being able to change your vision up and all that stuff, and being able to handle the pressure of something that no matter how good you are, there's going to be a lot of times that everyone tells you how bad you are. And how can you handle that? Will that make you better or worse? And that's why, I mean, look at all the quarterbacks who've been drafted all over history. I mean, it's a crapshoot. No one totally knows. Everyone's got some pretty good ideas, but it's not. You can't just go off the tape. You got to take the whole accumulation of everything, and that's not just an easy answer or